The podcast you're about to hear involves true stories, which may contain graphic content that is not suitable for children. Listener's discretion is advised. This is Esoteric Oddities.
And that was the moment that I realized I could only do 3 fingers and not anymore.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Uh
Welcome to Esoteric
Esoteric
Oddities. I'm Sarah.
I'm Jonathan.
And
I'm fucking hot. That's something you would say. I felt like I should throw that in there.
I've never said that before. I should say that. I should get a shirt that says that.
I'm fucking hot. No, you should get a shirt that says, "That's hot."
That's hot. I've never heard anybody say that before.
Paris Hilton said it.
Don't know who that is.
A lie.
So I didn't tell you this before, but okay. So basically when I get done work on Wednesdays, which is when we record the podcast, I go and I meet Sarah at the mall because it's kind of like a middle ground point for both of us. Did you just break that?
Yeah. Yes.
That's fine. That's fine. I meet her at the mall. So there's like this little nook. We call it the nook. And
It's THA Nook. So it's the Nook.
Look it up. And I pretty much like pull over. It's like a little shoulder kind of. It's where like Ubers go and like cabs, and I don't even know what it's really
Cabs
for.
are here.
And I pulled up into it, and I'm sitting there listening to Buttons by Pussycat Dolls as per usual, and I hear a knock on my window, and I look over, and it's an old lady with a walker. And I roll my window down, and I'm like, hi, hello. She looked like an Eleanor.
I love that.
I open the window, and she's just like, "Are you here for grandparent transport?" And I was like,
"Ma'am, I'm driving a car." No.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I said, "No, I'm sorry." And she goes, "Oh, I'm looking for a gray Hyundai Elantra that was parked where I was parked, and I drive a gray Hyundai Elantra." So I was like, that's not too crazy. But then I was like, what if it wasn't me? What if it was like a psycho person?
And you wanted to kidnap her, and you were like, "Yeah, it's me." And then you were like, "Dee, dee, dee, dee."
Yeah. Think about. Do you think about that?
That's scary, Eleanor. Look out for yourself,
oh my God,
man.
She's freaking.
I need receipts. Who's picking me up? What's his number?
Right, license
what's
plate.
His license plate? Think, girl.
Well, she was, first off, she was old, and she did, I just so happened to drive the car she was looking for, and I was parked in the same spot. What are the motherfucking odds? Especially because, I'm not like other girls. So,
I'm a cool girl.
I am a cool girl, but I just thought it was interesting and kind of weird. Like, what if it was a psycho and she got in?
I'm scared for her now. I'm scared she's going to get in someone's car.
She was really old. And what is this grandparent transport? Because I need to get on that. Sounds cheaper than Uber.
I'm singing.
Also, you are banned from almost every driving thing ever. And I'm not banned, but
Don't come for me. I didn't call for you, okay? I am banned from Uber because I have a lot of fun. Is that so hard?
Okay. Yeah. If you're going to throw up in the middle console.
I didn't throw up. I simply upchucked.
It's okay.
You were telling my secrets.
I didn't tell anything. Okay. I totally did. I'm sorry.
I feel like a Barbie doll and I feel exposed.
I didn't get banned from Uber. I got politely uninvited back in Lyft for a similar reason. Why do we always get banned from places?
Because we have fun. People don't like people who can have fun.
But when we got kicked out of the bar, we weren't even drunk.
People just don't like the way we look together.
I really think it's because I'm a skyscraper and you're like I was going to say Oompa Loompa, but I didn't mean it in that way.
It's JWoww and Snooki. Like,
it's literally
JWoww. I don't
and
know
Snooki.
how else to describe
You're
it.
smaller than Snooki.
Yeah.
And I'm taller than JWoww. So like
Are
that.
you taller than her?
Well, I'm 6'2". I'm pushing
4'9".
6'3". Yeah, we freaking know. 4'9", Lebanese, dirty knees. Look at these.
I'm surprised you didn't add lesbian in there.
I did. Lesbian. Fucking Miranda Sings makes that joke, and I legitimately like get them mixed up sometimes.
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
But that was just a thought I had with the old lady who almost got in my car. I feel like listening to true crime podcasts and like doing this podcast, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I had this discussion with my cousin's fiance because he wasn't really into true crime until he started listening to us, or maybe he like was.
Look at you converting people.
I know. Hello be that name. And basically, I don't know if I'm not I don't even know if I'm paranoid or if I'm just being more precautious and more conscious of my surroundings when it comes to certain things, because we have a baseball bat under our bed. Like, I just do these things.
You're definitely super cautious. I think you're the only one of my friends that's like, well, what if this happens or this could have happened? Like, you are really like,
yeah, because like being put in a scary situation is scary. We used to do the dumbest shit, and I don't know why we did it.
What is up with that?
Okay, with this being said of us doing dumb shit, when we used to live together, we went to the people who lived next door to us. They used to throw parties, right? It was like a frat house. It was an empty house, but frat party. They would throw frat parties there. I don't know exactly what happened, like if they rented it out. I believe.
Jonathan has this
rented it out because nobody lived there. There was no furniture, but they would have massive fucking ragers, and it would just get like trashed.
That whole house was nasty. It was 3 floors of nasty.
I was talking to a man and didn't know he was peeing on the wall. So anyway, we meet up with these 2 older gentlemen from North Philadelphia, born and raised. And they were nice to us, but we were so, oh my God, Mom, please don't listen to this because you're going to.
My mom's going to listen to this. She's going to text me.
Okay, should I stop?
No.
Okay, we did stupid stuff and we weren't looking out for ourselves. We were under the influence. They were nice-ish, but these guys ended up coming into our house because we lived next door, and they were like a little bit older. And like, first off, it was a little sketchy that they were at that party to begin with. And they came into our house and like,
I remember Trish was there. That was the first time she ever drank with us.
Yeah.
And we got her messed up.
So these people are in our house, and then we started sobering up enough to realize,
like, what the fuck?
I think we both looked at each other and we were like, who are these people and why did we let them in our house? Like, we don't know anything about them. We don't know what they could have on them. Listen, okay, we made mistakes, so you can, learn from our mistakes. That's how I'm going to look at the situation, is that we're helping you, our friendly listener.
Yeah, don't let strangers into your house.
These guys, we had to figure out how the fuck to get them out of our house.
So we lied.
So we lied. We were just like, we're going to walk our friend home. She wasn't going home. She was going to spend the night. But I think we coerced her into like getting up. She was so poor Trish. Thank you, Trish. She like got up and we like pretended we were walking her home, and we got them out of the house, and then we just went whoop, right the fuck back in the house.
Okay, thank you. Let me just input.
That was really, really, really dumb of us.
You got it before I did. I think you texted me and you were like, get them out.
Yeah, but then once that plan was set in motion, you were like, why are we this dumb? Like, why did we do this?
And I'm like, okay, plan, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna say that we gotta bring her home, so they gotta leave.
We like went into the bathroom. We're like, could you just like excuse us for like a second? We like turned on like summer hits of the 90s on the radio so they couldn't hear us, and like scuttle away to the fucking bathroom and turn on the sink.
We're like, plan, okay, what are we gonna do? Remember that huge party we threw?
Yeah, but you don't, because you passed out in the bathroom.
I had a whole bottle of Fireball. Leave me alone. I'm glad I'm like lucky to be alive.
I hid it and I don't know how you found it.
I am a genius. So I just want to tell you that I am mad at you that you made me watch Gerard's, what is it, Rules?
Gerard Way.
Gerard's Way?
No, Gerald's Game.
Gerard. Gerard's Rules. That's literally the same thing. Anyway.
Is that like Vanderpump Rules? I've been watching way too much of that. I literally watched 7 episodes yesterday. TV. It's not healthy.
No.
It's not.
But thanks for like warning me.
You're welcome.
I was dying.
I know. I'm sorry. I should have told you it was a little spooky. It wasn't spooky.
No, it was just gory as shit.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. So I'm just like immune to it. I just like am there.
I was dying. I was literally like,
Yeah, it was a lot. If you guys haven't seen it, just be warned, it's a little gory. But I've worked on film sets where I worked on this one short where this girl drops a wine glass and she steps on it and like blood goes everywhere. And I was on the art department, so it was my job to like
Make it look like that.
We had a little hack, just letting you guys know. A lot of the times if people are stepping on broken glass, it's actually rubber and it smells so fucking bad. It's this certain rubber that has like this weird gelatinous, it's not like other rubber. And it looks like broken glass when you cut it or when you break it. You can literally break it with your hand and step on it and it turns into like kind of jello-y and it just kind of like breaks up. So I'm just like, I don't know. I know the ins and outs and the gory movies don't really affect me in that way because I've worked on the art department where I have to spend hours figuring out how we're going to rig those up. And also CGI. In that movie, it was CGI.
Ready.
Yeah, if you guys aren't into gore, there's that. But just piggybacking back around to with the old lady, there was one time I thought that this man was my Uber. So I got in the back of the car and he was hotboxing it. It was out front of Jason's old house when he lived in South Philly. And this middle-aged man.
Uber?
No, he wasn't an Uber driver. It was just a man pulled on the side of the road.
Oh, right,
and
right.
I climbed in his car. It was awkward. And then it was even more awkward because I stood like not that far from his car waiting for the actual Uber. So
abort.
Yeah, that could have ended bad. We
need help.
But we also want to thank our Patreon supporters.
Thanks, guys.
You guys shine like the freaking stars you are. Special shout out to Shane. Thank you for upping your donation. We really appreciate
Thanks, Shane.
it. And thank you to all of our other supporters. You guys rock out with your cocks out.
Rock my socks.
Yeah, and you rock
my clam.
Ew, why?
No.
Why? Why would somebody rock your fucking clam? Oh.
You get it now?
No, I don't. It's okay. Do you
vagina.
Oh. Gross. Really quick before we start our stories, one last thing. So, I don't even know. Maybe I'm really early on this or maybe I'm really late on this. But my friend Becca, who's probably listening to this, hey, Becca.
Hey, Beckles.
You're not close with her like that. You can't call her Beckles.
Shut up.
I don't shut up. I grow up.
And when I look at you, I throw up.
If you don't know that, I'm disappointed.
Same.
But she sent me this game thing in your texts. It's like
you don't know about that?
Why didn't you send me a fucking thing?
I thought you knew the whole time. Call me a bitch. I dare you.
I stopped myself, didn't I?
Anyway, I didn't know that you didn't know. You could play.
I had no idea.
You could play beer pong.
Yeah,
Connect
I played beer
4.
pong today. I'm so bad at it.
Oh my god, I can't wait to beat your ass.
Beat it, baby. What? I'm like late to this.
Are you old?
I think so, and I stutter a lot. I've been noticing when I when I edit, I'm like, can I form a fucking sentence for the love of God? I'll be talking and then I'm like, like fucking Porky Pig.
Me. Oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like Porky Pig over here.
Same.
I need to cut out
the gym.
Me too. A man named Jim. A Slim Jim, Jesus Christ. But thanks, Becca, for introducing me. I couldn't figure out how to shoot the pool ball. She had to literally record her phone and send me the video of her playing it.
I couldn't figure that out either. Honestly, I only play the beer pong game and Connect 4.
Oh, I'm playing the Connect 4 with Carly right now. But
wow, and you didn't send me a request, you fake bitch.
Because I didn't know if you knew or not. I literally just found out hours ago, so I wanted to bring it up, and I was going to send it to you, and I didn't want you to be like, wow, you're so fashion forward. But here we are. I'm
fashionably late.
2000 and late. But it's called Game Pigeon, and I guess it's in the, I don't even know how the fuck to get it.
You have to download it in the app, and then it like shows up in that bar.
Just fucking Google it. Look up a YouTube. Apparently, everyone probably listening already knows that because I'm so 2000 and late. I'm sorry. Should we get into today's topic? I don't think we even have a topic.
Nope, we just did.
I don't really know what you did, and this time we're not lying about this. We promise this isn't like an April Fool's.
I did like a
Mine is true crime.
Mystery.
Okay, you have unsolved mystery. Mine is true crime.
I mean, I guess that's the same thing.
It's a murder.
It's a murder.
So you have dos or
two.
Uno. You have two. Okay, so you do both of yours.
All right.
And then I will pretend I was listening.
Naturally. So on the morning of April 29th, 1986, a farmer in Layton, Oklahoma was working in his fields when he saw smoke rising from a road nearby. He called authorities. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol arrived at the scene. They discovered a burning car in a bridge.
In a bridge?
Yeah, so like, it was like...
Like under it?
No. It like...
On top of it?
Yeah, like, you know the bridge walls?
You're literally doing a lot of things with your hands and none of them are making sense.
You know, like a...
You look like you're trying to DJ. You're like, work up.
You know, like a wall to a bridge? They hit that.
A wall to a bridge.
You know, like, it'll be like the road, the sidewalk, and the wall.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
The heat was so intense that the car actually melted into the metal guardrail. Mm-hmm. Inside the car, the officers noticed something off.
Wait, is this the Paul McCartney story?
No.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So the Oklahoma Highway Patrol says when Highway Patrol arrived, a body was inside the car, but they couldn't tell what it was because it was burned, due to the fact that the car already burned so badly.
Right.
So the body was burned beyond recognition, and skid marks indicated that the car's speed at impact was 50 to 60 miles per hour. So, like, that's normal.
Not when you're trying to crash into something that ain't normal.
That's true.
50 to 60 miles per hour on a bridge?
Oh, you're right.
Is this like a residential bridge?
I think so.
Or was it a highway bridge? Well, if it's a metal guardrail,
well, it says
could
Highway
be
Patrol,
either.
so
It might have been a highway, so you might be right. That's still kind of fast.
Right, yeah.
For going
is
over
true.
a bridge.
That is true.
Bridge may be icy.
So they basically deemed it as like a senseless accident.
Okay. When bodies get burned, their bones are still intact, right? So couldn't they take like a dental record thing? Or maybe it wasn't. Well, I don't know, because actually if you're in a crash.
It's like you might not have anything.
Yeah. Well, you would have something, but like your teeth might be a little fricked up.
A little not there. So a computer check revealed that the car belonged to Pat Conway, who lived with his family in Layton, 15 miles from the crash. The next day, the victim was identified as Eileen Conway, Pat's wife of 33 years. So authorities said that Eileen's death was an accident, but Pat noticed a number of conflicting facts that led him to doubt the official story. Pat Conway would eventually conclude the death of his wife. Dun dun dun. Sorry. I tried to make that like.
Wait. So it was her?
No, yeah, it was his wife that was in his car.
So it wasn't an unsolved mystery. It was a woman who died.
It's unsolved because of later facts that I'll say.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was it.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh.
No. He said, there's no doubt in my mind that she was murdered. If I lived to be 100 years old, I'd still be pushing to try to find the individual or possible two individuals, whoever was involved. So, his first suspicion was when he returned home a few hours after his wife's death, the patio door was wide open. Her purse, which she always carried on her, had been left behind. Her driver's license and glasses were on the table inside their house. The ironing board was set up and the iron was left on.
That's a fire hazard.
I'm saying. So, water from the garden hose was running into the backyard in the swimming pool, and in their bedroom, the tub was full of water and the phone was off the hook.
Whoa, she was multitasking
Like
out the
shit.
ass.
Like shit. But I don't think she was. I think it was these people trying to make it look like...
They were like, let's have her filling up the kiddie pool.
No, let's
she
have
was
her in the
ironing.
bathtub. No, let's have... Yeah, a lot of shit.
Unless she really was doing a lot of shit.
That's true,
You
'cause
know,
sometimes
when
I
I'm
do
on
that.
Adderall, I'm like, I'm going to get all this
I'm
shit
like,
done.
zing, zing,
Bling
zing.
blow.
I like that.
I literally quoted you
I
from
know.
about a year ago.
He said Pat said, the thing that really got my attention was the phone being off the hook, as if she'd attempt to make a phone call, possibly to the police.
Was it a rotary phone? Because if you're trying to call 911 on a rotary phone, it's not easy.
What's a rotary phone?
Oh, sweetie. It's like a phone that it has like a dial, the circular ones where you put your finger in the thing and then you do. Have you ever used one of those before?
I don't know. It could have been. Yeah, my friend had one.
Oh, she did. That's really cool for your friend because my grandma had one and it was probably better.
I really hate you. It's canceled. It's canceled, everybody. So there was another disturbing detail that confused Pat. What was Eileen doing on the bridge?
What was she doing on the bridge?
He said nothing about his wife's death made sense, and that's when he contacted investigator Ray Anderson. And he said, this is a lot of quotes.
I love quotes. You know me. I'll be quoting day and night.
The first impression that I had of this case when I met Mr. Conway, this is Ray saying this,
right,
was that of a spouse that was left alone, not expecting the tragedy that had happened and looking for some reason why this happened. The way that she left her house, it leads you to believe that there is a possibility that there could have been foul play. But he was kind of thinking negatively. Like, he didn't think that it was actually, that she was murdered.
Well, how would he explain everything?
And it's weird because as a private investigator, you would think that...
Unless he had reason to believe that...
She did.
Or did he turn all these things off before the police came over?
I'm not sure.
Or did he turn them all on before the police came over?
I'm saying. So a few days later, Pat and Ray Anderson went to the crash site looking for clues. Ray found a church bulletin in the grass.
What's a church bulletin?
Like a flyer.
Okay.
I
prefer the term pamphlet. Don't let it happen again.
I love this. We're being so mean to each other. So Pat recognized that the bulletin was on the dash of the car. And now it's...
in the grass.
Yeah, it's in the grass. The bulletin could have not flown out of a moving car, so the car would have had to been stopped. Ray Anderson began coming up with his own theories. So he said someone else may have been with her, opened the door, set the accelerator, slammed it into drive, hoping to run Mrs. Conway off into the creek and make it appear like it was an accident. So burn tests were performed on the car, and as a result of Anderson's investigation, the latent DA changed the official cause of death from accidental to unexplained.
Ooh, that's always creepy.
I know, right?
Just the word unexplained is like creepy.
Like how?
I'm sorry, did you say around what time
it was
any of this happened? Okay, so this is like daytime, like it's not night.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically they went to the fire marshal's office and this is a lot of quotes.
Hit me with the quotes, babe.
So they said, this is Sonny Sampson of the Oklahoma Fire Department.
Sounds like a promising man. A stand-up guy.
What made me suspicious at first was looking at the photographs and seeing how much burn was in the vehicle. This thing was completely burnt and destroyed. The burn looked like gasoline or something along those lines was used. Another thing that brought my curiosity up was the fact that the gas cap was missing.
Ooh.
Most arson cases, and this is documented, have a vehicle where the gas cap is removed, and that was the case here.
So now they think that maybe she crashed it, but then somebody lit that Jawn afloat.
Right.
Afloat. Wait, what am I even trying to say?
Or someone staged the whole thing.
Okay. But how can you stage the car crash? Like, the car crashed, right?
I don't know. It says before in the story that the car it could have been stopped.
It could have been stopped, but I feel like I'm no investigator, but if there's skid marks behind it and the car is pretty fucked up because... Well, now I don't know, because if a car's going 55 to 60 miles per hour and it melts to the rails, if it was going that fast, wouldn't it have just
blew up?
Blew up, but flew on over it?
Oh, that is true.
Like one flew over the cuckoo bridge?
Cuckoo bird's nest. It could be like it was underneath the rail, like it got caught in the rail. You know?
But even going 55 to 60 miles per hour, maybe
That's
not
a
even
good
flip it. What if
question.
fucking like if it got lodged under it? I feel like because what year was this? You said 50s, 60s. Here I am again, not listening.
1986.
1986. Okay. Shit. I feel like 55 to 60 miles per hour if you're hitting, unless there was concrete involved. I would have to see the photographs. Are there photographs online?
There may be.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. What's the dude's name again? I'm sorry.
It's Eileen, but it's spelled Aileen. Conway. It could be Aileen, but I don't think so. I think it's Eileen.
Come on, Eileen.
Okay.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Well, I don't know. I would have to look more into it to see. Because 50% of these pictures are a stone bridge.
Oh.
Well, that wouldn't. Well, it's like a stone bridge with a rail. Yeah. With like a lip and a rail. But even at that, I feel like you would flippity doo dah.
Well, basically, they took the material and applied it to a blowtorch. They set the material on fire, then removed the blowtorch, and the fire went out, which was consistent with the flame type of the material she had in the car. Next, they took gasoline and soaked the material, and then it was completely destroyed. So they're saying that there was gasoline in the car.
In the car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me put on my monocle and get my corncob pipe. I don't think they had what the fuck were those? I think it was just a pipe, right? The detectives.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it was ruled unsolved because they don't understand why they had this information to prove that there was gasoline in the car, but why they couldn't prove anything else. Like, why was there gasoline in the car? Why was there all that stuff left?
My main question is a fucking motive.
Right.
What, like, were they rich?
I think she could have been being robbed.
Okay.
And maybe she interrupted it and they were pissed.
My thing is, if it's a robbery gone wrong, she was already home. So it wasn't like...
Yeah, but maybe they took her, they knocked her out, put her in the car, did the accelerator like they said before.
Right.
The car drove off into the bridge and then they lit it on fire to try to
Okay, and then robs the house? That's a lot.
That's true.
Because they would be leaving the scene of the crime that they already started,
back.
creating a whole nother scene of a crime, going back to the scene of the crime to rob it. Did they say that the house was robbed? Was anything missing?
They said that there have been reports of burglaries in the weeks and months before.
Okay, so that is suspicious, but was their house burglarized or do we not know that?
They didn't say. I guess not, since...
Yeah, I feel like they would have said something if
Right.
the house was burglarized. Well, then my thing is, what maybe...
I mean, people are really just, crazy, though.
People are crazy, but... Okay. I literally just threw up in my mouth. I'm sorry.
Cute. Can I have some of that?
No, I literally,
Do you need
unrelated case. I just, I'm hunched over a little bit, and we just had a lot of faro. Is that how you say it? Faro?
Isn't
So far
It's definitely
away.
faro because it's not pharaoh.
Okay. So, I'm just confused as to what a motive is. Was this on a TV show? Can I watch it somewhere? Because I'd love to visually see some stuff.
It might have been on Unsolved Mysteries. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It was on Unsolved Mysteries.
Boom.
I would have to check it out. That's interesting. Also, okay, here the church pamphlet. I really would have to visually see it because if she's on a bridge, how far into the bridge was she if it was found in the grass? Because I'm looking at a picture here and it says church bulletin was found in the grass. There's no grass on a bridge.
Right.
So how far off the bridge was she? Did she cross the bridge?
Right. Also,
were there any witnesses? I have so many questions. I want to answer all of them. And if you guys give me $10, I'll crack this case wide open.
Wide open. Bust it wide open.
I feel like I could definitely be the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, who
That's why it's
stole
unsolved.
the Great Hope Diamond. What killed the dinosaurs? Who makes the finest pizza? What's in your brother's dresser drawer? Mysteries of life. Oh yeah. If she doesn't know that, she's too young for you, bruh.
I'm saying.
Are you?
I hope this next one is pleasing to you.
That was really pleasing to me, but I'm just like, I feel like unsolved mysteries get me so perplexed because
They do. They get real hype.
Well, yeah, because I feel like what
makes it unsolved?
I want to know what a motive would have been. What would someone possibly have gained from killing
someone?
Somebody?
Oh my God! What does anyone gain out of killing someone in everyday life?
And even if she wasn't murdered, that okay.
I feel like she was. That thing was staged. I don't feel like
it definitely is staged, but also you have to really take a step back and consider everything when you have nothing to go by. Listen to me, like giving
I'm
my
saying, like my just
like
go be a
listen.
detective.
In my 22 years of experience on this earth,
you're not 22.
Shut the frick up. Let me be youthful. But what was I saying? Oh, she could have had like a mental break. You know? That could have been something. What if she
drove herself off a road?
People have strokes. I work with this guy who had a stroke at work. Like last week. I don't even think it was last week. I think it was Monday. You know, I'm not saying that could have been what happened, but like maybe you got to all things considering. But I agree. That case, something smells fishy.
I'm saying.
All right. That pleased me. Don't let me down with the second one.
Yikes. All right, here we go. So the story is about
Ouch.
Leroy.
I'm like knocking everything over. I'm sorry.
It's about Leroy Dreeth, but it's also about his girlfriend too.
Never heard of either of them.
Vicky Marling. I'm just kidding.
Okay. That's a wrap. Thanks for coming.
I mean, it's about Leroy, but it's him and his sister.
His sister, not his girlfriend.
His girlfriend is mentioned. There's a lot of people mentioned in here, so I just want to say that before.
All right, I get my pencil. I'm going to lick it so it can write better.
So, May 30th, 1968 was a sad day for Vicky Marling.
And that's all the time we have. You guys know what that sound means.
Bye.
Join us next time.
So, May 30th, 1968 was the day her brother Chevrolet smashed into a tree in the northern Colorado town of Meade. Vicky was 11, and she remembers that Thursday night started with a telephone ring and hearing her mother yelling, telling her to get dressed and that they have to go. Her brother was dead.
Okay.
And then she was interrogated.
The 11-year-old?
Mm-hmm. So when they found...
Do we know how old the brother is?
He's 18.
Okay.
When they found the brother, he was killed in a car accident, but his throat was slashed.
Oh, I see a theme here.
So, Leroy Dreeth was 18, and his death still remains a mystery. Before I get into this, I want to say that I don't think the coroners really did their job. I think that's...
Just gonna go ahead and put that out there.
I think so. It's a theme. So, Leroy was at his girlfriend's house in Meade, and they had a fight. He jumped into his car and sped off before he reached the stop sign. He blew through the stop sign, and then he left 69 feet skid marks before crashing into the tree in front of the high school.
Wow.
So, the investigation ended quickly. The Colorado State Patrol accident report no longer exists.
What?
Mm-hmm. So his accident report doesn't exist anymore.
Why?
So it says the coroner who looked into it wrapped up his work quickly, like as little as an hour. Examined this boy in 1 hour.
I don't know how long it usually takes.
Definitely longer than that.
Probably.
They have to examine a whole body. George Howie Jr., who was a mortician, he served as a deputy coroner, completed a one-page form covering his work, but it's not clear whether he interviewed anyone himself or simply relied on information provided by state troopers. He typed out 3 lines describing what happened.
3 lines?
That's it. Otto, this is what they said. Otto struck tree in front of high school, had left girlfriend's house stating he was going to kill himself and not seeing her again. Proceeded to accident. When he signed the death certificate, he marked Leroy's death auto suicide. He decided no autopsy was necessary.
Despite the slash in the throat?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, rumors started in the town. And I guess Leroy's mom had a really hard time with it because she didn't know what happened. She knew that his
throat was
slashed, but the coroner
wasn't publicizing any information.
Right. He literally did a 3-line
report. And it
report.
sounded like some broken ass English.
Right. So his sister grew up, got married, she moved away, and then when she came home, she started looking for answers. I love when people crack cases. Sorry, it's my favorite thing. So she requested a copy of her brother's death certificate and wanted to have a discussion with the coroner. He told her that suicide in a car crash was extremely rare and encouraged her to hire a private detective. So Vicky couldn't afford that, so she eventually asked...
God forbid she just wants something done right.
Vicky couldn't afford it, so she asked her mother to have Leroy's body exhumed.
Okay.
Around 7 a.m. on August 9th, 1993, workers began digging into the soil covering Leroy's grave at Mountain View Cemetery in Longmont. A little more than 25 years had passed since his death.
So now she's like in her 30s.
Yeah. So a couple of hours later in Loveland, Dr. Patrick Allen opened the casket and saw immediately that Leroy's body was in remarkably good condition, especially considering the passage of time. Allen, a forensic pathologist.
We're professionals here. This is our interest.
Fine, guys. Served as a coroner for 36 years and performed thousands of autopsies. So, one of the first things he noticed was a carving wound about 4 inches long in Leroy's neck. So that was...
Oh, wow. And he's just, sneaking a peek 25 years. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right. It had been sewn shut by an embalmer. But Allen explained it wasn't the kind of injury he's seen in untold car crashes.
Okay. Now, I'm just thinking objectively, as one likes to do. So he says it's not like something he's seen in cases. However, depending on how hard the car accident was, isn't it possible? Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
So he also found the arteries undamaged. He said a direct contradiction of the death certificate, which said they were severed in the crash.
Eey.
So it's already a lie.
Right. Our trust is severed, sir.
So,
I always wanted to say that.
So, Patrick Allen says, it is in my opinion that although the ultimate cause of death was due to the injuries sustained in the vehicle crash, the lower neck wound is uncharacteristic of the wound formed in the vehicle crash. It is therefore also in my opinion that the lower neck wound has all the characteristics of a wound and is very suspicious of foul play. So, it may not have immediately been fatal, but it was a serious potential fatal wound. It is possible that the descendant may have been fleeing his vehicle when the crash took place as a result of loss of control or loss of consciousness.
Okay. Interesting.
So the Boulder County coroner changed Leroy's death certificate, removing suicide and replacing it with undetermined.
Quarter of a century later.
Right. So the authorities launched a criminal investigation. And they say mistakes get buried and we never really find out what happened. You take someone's word for something. Again, I think it was Alfred Hitchcock who said the perfect crime is committed every day. We just never hear about it.
Spooky.
And they're still trying to figure out what happened. My theory is the girlfriend.
Who, I wonder if she had ties to the police.
And
Because they
that
didn't
could
really
also
talk
be.
about her that much. And I was
Right.
thinking maybe her dad or her brother or something. Or who even had ties to like an investigator who was like real quick to shut it down. Because, you know, that one as far as the coroner being like, this is what happened. Car hit tree. Tree killed man. Suicide.
Right. I don't know. It's just really weird. I think it was the girlfriend.
I don't have enough details to point the finger at her. But it's, close your legs. It smells fishy.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, wow. Okay, here we go. More.
Just kidding, JK.
Oh, you are
Edit that out,
done.
Future John, yeah.
Oh.
They started going into this story about this girl that had the same type of thing, but it's kind of...
Oh, it's a different story.
Yeah, but
Oh,
and it
okay.
kind of like ties into this, but it's just not
Oh,
really relevant.
okay. Interesting. Yeah, I would have to learn a little bit more about the girlfriends, or I would have to do my own investigation if they, you know, didn't include her in much.
I think it was her, and I think it's like you said, she had ties to the police or somebody.
It's plausible. It is very plausible.
These things really get me going.
They really rev my, what's it called?
Engine.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thanks for sharing those unsolved.
What is it? Unclaimed.
No, it's unsolved. I don't know where you were going with that.
Because they always say it's they changed their death.
To undetermined.
Undetermined, not unclaimed.
Unclaimed.
I'm not okay. I've been up since 5:30. I'm sorry. I'm delusional.
It's
as
okay.
shit.
I've been up since 3 o'clock thanks to my cat.
Thanks, Kat.
All right. So this is the murder of Michael DiPolito. So Michael DiPolito was an Italian Jersey Shore type tattooed man from Philadelphia. Ooh, what's up? From the 215. So in 1933, he was just 22 years old, and he became a crack addict and an alcoholic. So that year, he was arrested in Philadelphia for possession and intent to deliver drugs. So court records don't actually specify what kind of drugs, so I don't know if it was marijuana or if it was crack, because he was a crack addict. So not sure what, you know, how hard the drug was. So he skipped the first hearing in the case, and the judge issued a bench warrant for his arrest. By 1990, and remember that was in 93, and he was 22 years old. So now by 1997, he was a recovering addict, and he moved to Boca Raton, Florida, and he got a job as at an employment agency. In August of that year, he was arrested on North Dixie Highway for offering an undercover Broward County Sheriff's deputy $15 for sex. Give it to me, I'm worth it. So he pleaded guilty and he was released. Around that time, Mike began a relationship with a woman named Karen Tan. So she had recently moved to South Florida. She was from Long Island, and she worked for a nonprofit that advocated for children and families. And in July 1998, Michael and Karen had a son. But soon after their son was born, Mike moved out and moved on to another woman. Her name was Maria Luongo.
Yikes, real quick. Peace.
So, meanwhile, Mike DiPolito was introduced to the world of commodities fraud. So he worked in a local boiler room where he and fellow telemarketers would recruit people to invest in foreign currency, in the foreign currency market, and he would basically steal the customer's cash. So the Rubio family, a Broward County clan with ties to the Bonanno crime family. For those of you who don't know, the Bonanno crime family is one of the 5 families that are they pretty much dominate the organized crime activities in New York City mostly, but within the American mafia. Ooh, I keep knocking this table.
It's okay. Be great. Live your best life.
If you guys ever hear this noise, it's just my knees. I'm too tall for this fucking table. So, okay, to reiterate, the Bonanno family was not running this boiler room, but the Rubo family, who had close ties to the Bonanno family, they were the ones who were running the scam in Palm Beach, Florida. So he was working for a family that had close ties to that family.
Okay, got it.
So Mike stayed there long enough to learn the trade. And then he decided to branch out and run his own scheme. In 2001, he set up 2 companies, MAD Financial and CTU Inc., and began cold calling strangers as far away as Ohio, Illinois, and California. He was basically persuading people to invest in foreign currency, blah, 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 steal their money. From an apartment in Boca, he was running the scam for quick profits from the fluctuating exchange rates between the dollar, the Japanese yen, the euro, and the British pound. He would tell people that the plan was, quote, risk-free. That's what they told all the customers. And, as a salesperson doing cold calls, you're trained and you just have a certain personality that makes people believe you. You're a salesperson. I don't know exactly what the company is called, but one of my friends who will remain unnamed, I'm not really friends with him anymore, but he sold my phone number to a company. And then that company tried to hire me to sell knives. And it was when I was in high school, and they make it sound so...
like you're going to get money.
It's kind of like a pyramid scheme, but not just a pyramid scheme. It's like ripping off kids who like don't know. Because I remember I told my mom, I was like, Mom, it's a great opportunity. Like,
I could get money by selling knives.
Yeah,
and
but...
she's probably like, no, Jonathan.
She did. And I was like, you don't know me, Mom.
Slams door.
That was the same thing in high school. I remember Proactive. They were like,
oh my God, Proactive was huge.
They sent me a bonus thing, and they were like, here's a bonus thing for your birthday. And I was like, oh my God, a free birthday gift. And it was $150, but it was free. And my mom's like, nothing in this world is free. I was like, but Mom, the card said it was for my birthday.
Right.
She was like, yeah, they delivered it by your birthday. They made it look like it was for your birthday. And then she got charged for it. So I had to send it back. So fuck you, Proactive. Unless you want to sponsor us, then at the same time, fuck you, Proactive. So then there's this dude. His name is George Nemeth, and he was living in Ohio in the early 2000s, and he was one of the people who received a cold... what? Hello?
Yo. Can you please keep that in there?
I'm going to.
What?
So this George dude... he received a cold call from one of Mike's salespeople, and he thought the business opportunity sounded tempting and, quote, glamorous.
I'm so sorry. Okay, good.
Okay. So he thought it was tempting and glamorous. So he invested $20,000. And the person said, before he invested this, he was like, this is the salesperson. If you invest $20,000, you could earn all that money back, and then you could earn a profit of $7,000 to $8,000 in just a few months, and then you could begin doubling that. So George remembered that the salesperson from Mike DiPolito's company was telling him this shit. So George was one of at least a dozen customers who wired money to Mike DiPolito's corporate bank account in Jacksonville. Some sent $16,000. One man sent $25,000. But soon George Nemeth realized that he was being scammed. He was like, it's been a couple months.
I'm not
what's
getting
good?
Anything right.
His phone calls to MAD Financial were never returned. A red flag. And naturally, the profits were never materialized. So instead, of course, Mike DiPolito was keeping the cash. He splurged on hotel rooms, designer clothes, and jewelry. He was making some bank there. He became so rich. Well, I wouldn't say so rich, but he was. I read something that said he spent more than $6,000 in one sitting on pay-by-the-minute chat rooms.
Oh my God.
And psychic and phone sex hotlines.
All right.
Well, if the psychic was great, she could have saw his future coming. And let me tell you, it's dark. So George Nemeth, remember the guy who got scammed? He called the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, but he pretty much discovered that officials from there were already on to Mike DiPolito's scam. And in 2002, the commission filed a federal lawsuit alleging DiPolito, who was the sole officer and director of both scam companies. They said that he had collected a total of more than $200,000 in just a few months. Bitch, I'm not trying to scam people, but I'm trying to get that kind of money. If you know somebody, let me know, but it's got to be legal.
LMK.
And tax deductible. So Mike DiPolito was arrested in March 2002. He pled guilty to the charges of organized fraud, grand theft, and unlicensed telemarketing. He was sentenced to 2 years in state prison, although he served only 7 months because pretty much that 7 months was added to how much time he spent in jail waiting the trial. So all that shit added up to 2 years. Do the math, because I don't feel like it. He was forced to make monthly restitution payments to his victims, and he was put on probation. Y'all, this story gets crazy. So those close to Mike believed he turned over a new leaf when he got out of prison. In July 2007, he launched an online market company called Mad Media Inc. Honestly, you should drop the MAD. It's not M.A.D like it was before.
Mad.
It's just Mad Media Inc. And he used a portion of his income to pay back his victims. Detectives thought that Mike was, doing what he needed to do to stay clean. So Maria, who remember was the second woman, he left his first, the first girl, and now he's with Maria, and she continued to date him despite his criminal activities. The couple married in 2007 after knowing each other for 9 years. Maria was aware of her husband's past troubles with the law and even stayed with him, obviously, when he was in jail. However, there were some things she didn't know about her husband. She had no idea how Mike entertained himself when she left town. In October 2008, while Maria was on a trip, he called an escort to his Boca office. The woman's name was Dahlia Muhammad. The two hit it off, and Mike, who was 12 years her senior, wanted to see Dahlia again for drinks, not paid sex. The two began dating immediately. At the time, Dahlia was mainly living in California, but she soon fully moved in with Mike in Florida. This new love interest came to a shock to Maria, because it was his wife. They were married. And remember, he
said peace.
He has a son by the woman
First
prior.
one.
So keep these women in mind. So this is how it went down. Maria returned from her out-of-town trip, and Michael announced, "I'm moving out. I want a divorce." At first, he didn't mention Dahlia, and then one day, Maria saw him buying flowers. She confronted him, and he admitted he was seeing another woman. By the end of January 2009, Maria and Michael were divorced, and just 5 motherfucking days later...
She stayed with him through everything, and this is how he treats her.
Mike married
Spoken
Dahlia.
like a true man.
5 days later, Mike married Dahlia at the Palm Beach County Courthouse in Delray Beach. So Dahlia wasn't just an escort. She had also recently become an Aventura-based beachfront realtor. The newlywed couple moved into a $225,000 townhouse Mike had just bought. He paid in full, no mortgage, in Baton Beach, and Dahlia was the one who sold it to him. So Dahlia spent her days at tanning and hair salons, shopping in Bal Harbor, and working out at LA Fitness. So Michael ran his scam-free marketing business from their house, which was equipped with security cameras at the front and back doors. This will be an important piece of information, so tuck it in your assholes. They also had 2 dogs, Bella and Linguini. How cute. Every morning, Dahlia would wake up in time to give Michael a steroid injection before he went to the gym at 5:30 a.m. Remember that Mike was a former crack addict and a recovering alcoholic still, even though it was back in the 90s. And now we're in 2009, and his routines were important to keep him on track. So this was something that he continued to do. I just didn't mention it earlier because I just forgot to, okay? So in March 2009, Michael and Dahlia were vacationing at a Ritz-Carlton in Manalapan. Perfect. When they checked out of the hotel, they found police officers standing by Mike's car. The cops told DiPolito they had received an anonymous tip that he was dealing drugs. So they searched his car, but they didn't find anything, so they let him go. And Dahlia started questioning him about those drugs. He denied it was true. She was like, what the fuck are they talking about? What is good with it? He did lead her on to know about his criminal history, but not like the full extent of everything. So
not that he was a scammer?
No, she did know that. She knew that I don't know to what extent she knew, but she knew that he went to jail. I don't know if she knew how big of an issue it was, but Anyway, so then they went to a gas station. This is like directly after. So cops are stopping them outside of the Ritz-Carlton, search the car, don't find anything. They tell him it was an anonymous tip that he was dealing drugs. Cops don't find anything. So they get in the car and they go to a gas station. And when Mike opens the gas cap, there's drugs inside that he didn't put there. So he quickly throws them away. He gets in the car and he drives off to another gas station, kind of freaking out, hoping that there were no cameras that saw any of that because he did not put the drugs there. So he tells Dahlia, and she questions, like, who would be doing this? She's like, what is going on? What aren't you telling me? Who would be doing this?
Everybody, man. So
with his history of financial fraud, the ultimate disrespect of women in his life, he wasn't sure.
Look at that.
So the couple became paranoid, as, you know, I freaking would. So about 2 weeks later, Mike and Dahlia were at City Place in West Palm Beach when police officers said they had gotten a tip that there were drugs under a spare tire of his Chevy Tahoe. Surely enough, they found a Newport cigarette box that contained 2 small baggies of cocaine, but somehow Michael DiPolito avoided arrest when he told the authorities that he was being set up and that he had been set up prior, and they, you know, had on record that they had received an anonymous tip. So I don't know.
They like put it together like, oh, okay. It's
well,
possible.
Yeah, but I don't think it was like, I think that it was
than
deeper than that.
right.
I just don't know all the details of it. So then at 8 a.m. on April 2nd of that year, 2009, Baton Beach police were called to the DiPolito house when the neighbor complained that the, quote, dealer and his girlfriend were having a domestic dispute. When the cops knocked, the DiPolitos admitted that they were arguing about money. In late May of 2009, Michael was on his way back from the gym when he found a note on his truck that read, "Bring $40,000, 9:30 a.m. back to this parking space and put it under the car parked behind you. Do not tell anyone, especially your wife. I will tell you all that has happened to you is happening to you and will happen on Friday. Tell no one, come alone." It's a little bit to piece together, so they're thinking maybe it's somebody whose English was their second language. Not really sure. It was signed, quote, "someone who will help you." So basically he's saying $40,000, 9:30 a.m., put it under my car or this drug thing will escalate.
Right.
Escalade? That's a car. And it wasn't even his car. He had a fucking Tahoe. So
he better have a Tahoe.
He did have a Tahoe.
So that's a meathead's car.
He was a fucking Jersey Shore
sorry,
meathead.
Guys. That was really mean.
That's okay.
Meatheads would drive Tahoes.
If you drive a Tahoe, we love you.
We do.
And we love you, meathead.
No discrimination.
So he brought the note to the police. He was like, fuck this. I'm bringing this shit to the police so they know that, like, if they search my car against, you know.
A rat.
So,
He's an op.
So the officer who interviewed him wrote that Mike, quote, appeared overly paranoid, expressing extreme concern for his welfare and safety. Michael, in his own words, said, "I wish whoever this is will just break my car windows or even shoot me and get it over with already." It's like that episode of Drake and Josh when they think Megan's going to get back to them, but the best revenge, she just, you know, wanted them to get paranoid. So this is basically Megan. So
that was a good reference.
Thank you. I like to stay relevant with the youngins. We have people who are like, what the frick is Drake and Josh?
Right, shut up.
So that's when Mike revealed his past ties to the Bonanno crime family. He's saying this to the police. He told the officers that he, you know, as they already knew, he was arrested before for running an investment scam. He was involved with 2 subjects from Baton Beach who were recently arrested and linked to organized crime. According to the police report, brothers Pascal and Joseph Rubo were still on probation for their previous boiler room scam. They got out of jail 6 days prior to all this shit happening.
Oh, that is a red flag.
So on August 2009, Dahlia DiPolito was at the gym and she received a phone call from Sergeant Ramsey, but her phone was in her gym bag in the locker room. So when she finished her workout, she checked her voicemail to hear the officer request that she arrive at the house as soon as possible. So she arrives on the street to find her yard and house completely taped off with police tape. Distressed and confused, she walks up to an officer who admit they were the ones who called her and they have something to tell her. Here's a clip.
I'm Sergeant Ramsey. I'm the one that called you. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to call you. Listen, we had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am. He's been killed. He's been killed, man. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
Listen.
No.
Try to calm down. Listen, right now we need to get you to the station.
No.
We need to get you to our police station. I can't let you see him, man. We have to do our job. If you want us to find his killer, okay?
So she's all shaken up, obviously. So police take her to the station, sit her down, and tell her what they found. They tell her that evidently someone had knocked on the door and Mike answered it. Dahlia said that they have cameras throughout the house and he never would have answered the door for anybody he didn't know. She tells them that their front door has a camera and their back door also has a camera. However, they don't record. So pretty much they could pull up the camera footage like on any of their TVs throughout the house, you know, and but it wasn't recording, even though they told, like, they were leading people to believe that it was being recorded. So police tell her that they were called by neighbors who heard commotion, and when they arrived, the front and back doors were wide open. Mike's body was found upstairs in a bedroom, and he had been shot twice. So Dahlia breaks down, starts sobbing, puts her head down on the table as officers say they're going to try to get more details and find out if the house was burglarized. And when the police enter the room again, they are escorting a very tall man in handcuffs. They bring in this man who's shackled and they ask her if she's ever seen him, and she's like shooketh. So Dahlia's confused and scared. She doesn't know who this man is or why he was seen coming out of her house. Then police bring in one more man. It's Mike DiPolito, and he's alive. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so join us in our next episode for part 2 of this case, and trust me, if you think you know where it's going, you fucking don't. Sarah, do you have a fun fact?
That was scary. Y'all know I love my fun facts about space.
Okay.
Because I was noticing that they weren't educational, they were just fun, so I want to make it both.
Is it a fact about Uranus?
It can be.
Perfect. Uranus has a ring of debris around it. You should wipe more thoroughly.
The solar system is about 4.6 billion years old. Scientists estimate that it will probably last another 5,000 million years.
Before it decides to retire, and it's
Listen,
like,
the sun is about to do out.
It's like, I'm tired. I can't shine this bright for this long. If Shakira stopped,
Shine
I'm
bright
stop.
like a not diamond because the sun is fusing out.
True. So my fun fact is that horizontal refreshment was a 19th century slang for sex.
I like that.
Thank you.
That story was crazy though.
I know. And part 2 is like 10 times as long. Do you have a tweet of the week?
Yeah. My tweet of the week is from Great Minds Quotes. It says, remember that not getting what you want is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck. This is said by the Dalai Lama. I really want to point out that someone commented on this and said, now this is really something. Girl crazed anyone? Careful. That really grabbed my attention.
What really grabs my attention is that a llama could say that.
It was the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So my tweet of the week is, learn the lesson and you'll quit repeating the test. That's from @StarHeal. We're so damn inspirational. And if you guys like our inspiration, tell a friend to listen to this freaking show.
Tell them.
Thank you guys for all of the new ratings. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate
if you haven't rated us, please go ahead and do so. It really helps us out. We would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to support the show, patreon.com/esoteric oddities. Come hang out with us. Come chat with us. Let us know what you want to see. You can follow us on social media. You can email us. You can pie us in the face.
Us.
We're holding a block party tomorrow. By the time you hear this, it's already too late. You missed a great party. There were deviled eggs. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.